Good afternoon. I'm meteorologist Nicholas Herboso. Thank you for joining us here on Next Weather. Great to be back with you here. We're talking about a few things, and we have some interesting things to talk about, so we're going to get to it. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube right now. I have the comments pulled up. Check in, say hi, and we'll talk about what's going on. So a couple things to note. Cool and breezy today, and cool, very chilly into tonight, really. And if you're out this evening, you might want to check out the comet that is out there. We're going to have some information on how you can see that. Looking ahead, we have a very pleasant weekend coming up with temperatures gradually getting slightly warmer. We'll talk about that. The mornings will still be cool. And then over the next 7 days, yes, we are warming up. So we're enjoying that cooler air now. If you like the fall feel, it is definitely there. But over the next 7 days, we will see a warm up. So once again, we're streaming live on Facebook. Be sure to check in, and we're going to let you know what's going on in the forecast. Let's start here with a look at the comet. So the Comet Shinan, I think I'm saying that right, Atlas. So here it is. This is a photo that we got actually. This was yesterday. Now, if you're trying to look for it yesterday, you probably couldn't see it because we had clouds. Maddie, good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us here. Gina sent this in from Salisbury, Massachusetts, and there it is in the western sky. You can see the stars out there as well. So how can we see this tonight? Well, good news is tonight our skies will be mainly clear, and it's going to be a nice chilly night to be outside. Grab your blankets, grab your jackets if you're going to head out and look at this thing. This will be about 45 minutes after sunset when you see this. So take a look at it here. This is kind of a summary on what to look for tonight, the night of the 16th. Another note, we have a full moon tonight. And what that means is we're going to have a little bit more light in the sky, so it might be harder to see this thing. So that's the only it's the hunter's moon tonight, so we're kind of getting around that time, at least of the full moon. So be ready for that. It is going to be a little bright with the moon. However, that period, about 45 minutes after sunset, once we start to lose some of that light, you start to see Venus, which is the brightest thing in the western sky. Look just to the right of it, and you might see that bright line, that bright spot. It is not going to look like those photos to the naked eye. All of these photos that you're seeing of the comet are taken with iPhone long exposure or Android long exposure. The iPhone, it's the night mode. And it's hard to see with the naked eye. So you're going to be staring up at it and be like, Nicholas, what was this weatherman talking about? You know, it's there. I promise. It is just extremely hard to see. So hopefully around 45 minutes after sunset, sunset's around 6:20, we get enough low light, look in the western sky, find Venus. Venus will pop up first. Look to the right of Venus. It'll actually be just above where the sun actually sets. So if you're actually watching sunset, look just above that, and you'll see western sky, 45 minutes after sunset, you might start to see a very faint bright spot. It'll be very faint. Almost like when you look at a really bright light, stare at it for a second, and you see that kind of like flash almost. That is what it looks like. And as I was looking at it last night, or a couple nights ago, excuse me, down at Gulf State Park. I couldn't see it for the longest time, and then suddenly I saw this, what looked like a flash, but it's just, you see it faintly for a second and then it goes away. It's really hard to see. However, a recommendation that I have for you, even if you can't see it with the naked eye, take that phone, put it into night mode, put the phone camera into night mode, and snap a picture of the western sky, and it might just come up. If you have a tripod to set your phone on, that is even better because you can actually get a longer exposure photo that way. So I was able to get some cool photos. Even though I could barely see the thing with the naked eye, you could still see it through the phone. This is kind of like when we saw the aurora, you know. Take that long exposure photo and you can see the color. Take that long exposure photo and you'll be able to see the tail of the comet and everything. 45 minutes after sunset, again, it's hard to see. It's hard to see, but if you look long enough, you might be able to see it. And eventually it will set. So we get that point slightly higher, starting point is slightly higher in the sky when we can see it tonight. Then it'll start to set as we go longer and longer after sunset. So we'll get closer and closer to the horizon. Also be harder and harder to see. Forecast for tonight, not that bad. You'll need a jacket if you're out there. It's a little chilly. 43 degrees by our Thursday morning, so definitely cooler out there. Winds still out north-northeast at 10 miles per hour, so rather chilly. So if you're out there looking at sunset tonight or a little after sunset, recommendation, grab the jacket. 45 minutes after sunset, look in the western sky, long exposure photo on your phone. That is the way to see this thing. All right, let's talk about the forecast now. Chilly air is in place. 39 degrees, Grove Hill, Evergreen, Bruton, 38 in Crestview tomorrow morning. It is going to be very chilly. Grab your jackets as you're heading out the door. You might be able to lose them somewhat by the end of the day, or the afternoon, excuse me, because it's going to be in the 60s, approaching 70 degrees. But the morning will definitely be chilly. True after cold front air, true fall air for the Gulf Coast. The fall air blew in last night. Take a look at this. Suzanne sent this in from Fairhope. The Halloween decorations blowing away there. I'll let this video loop a couple times. It's sent in on the Fox 10 weather app. Last night, the front passed through. Typically, when the front passes, you get a little bit of wind, and that is exactly what happened. And we got this, and there it is, the Halloween decorations blowing over the car there. Thankfully, it looks like it didn't hurt the car too much, but it was a breezy night and has been a breezy morning as well. We got wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. All this thanks to a huge trough over the eastern United States. So we're looking at the upper level pattern, and you can see that there. Pointed out that dip in the jet stream, you get flow around that, and there you go. You get cooler air that is embedded in that, and that is what's coming our way. And it has definitely been chilly out there. At the surface, we have huge area of high pressure, so sunny skies out there for today. Winds out of the north-northeast, and you see those lines that are slightly closer together. We're getting a bit of what's called a pressure gradient. We have high pressure to our north, some slightly lower pressure to our south over the Gulf of Mexico, and the squeeze play in between those gets us some stronger winds. That's exactly what we're dealing with today. Winds over the next few hours will begin to relax, though. You can see probably around 15 miles per hour, 12 miles per hour sustained, looking at Gulf shores, and then we'll go 10 miles per hour later this evening. So winds will start to pull back then. Relative humidity is very, very low. Dew points are very low, therefore it is dry. It is very, very dry out there. And the reason I bring this up is when you factor the wind, the low relative humidity, and the relatively dry conditions that we have had, you get a minor problem. Fire weather is something that we're concerned about today. The National Weather Service has issued a red flag warning. That is essentially a fire weather warning, meaning don't burn. So tonight is not a bonfire night. It'll still be somewhat breezy. It's not going to be as windy as it has been, but it'll still be somewhat breezy. With that, red flag warning continues until 7 p.m. And this is definitely going to be, in fact, hold on, let me check something real quick because I think we got an update on that. Till Wednesday 7 p.m. Yes, so until Wednesday 7 p.m. is the correct time. Any fires could spread rather quickly because it's so dry and we have that wind that is out there. So just a reminder, not a bonfire night tonight because it is simply too dry at this time. And looking at the long range forecast, rain chances, 0 all the way through. In fact, that high pressure that I was talking about that I showed earlier sticks around all the way through our forecast. This also leads to a gradual warming trend in our forecast. So see forecast highs today, we're in the 60s, maybe a couple places squeak out 70 degrees. We get to 60s and 70s for our Thursday, and then eventually warm up into the 80s by the end of the weekend and into next week. So dry conditions, high pressure stays in control. Winds out of the east, it is going to be really breezy offshore for the next few days. Not the best time to be offshore. Low temperatures as well. start to moderate and eventually get closer and closer to average 58. We go above average by midweek and late week next week. So definitely some warmer air is on the way. We get to enjoy this cool fall weather for now. Here's that weekend forecast. I think our weekend forecast is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Saturday, a very cool start, but the afternoon very pleasant. Those sunny skies out there. Saturday evening, if you have plans, just going to be nice. 53 degrees by Sunday morning, and then we warm up to right around 80 on Sunday afternoon. So a good forecast there, that warmer afternoon. If you have weekend plans, things are looking good, definitely. Here's that 7-day outlook for you. You can see, once again, we talked about no rain chances. We talked about gradual warming trend. All that stuff reflected in the 7-day outlook there. Those cool morning temperatures in the near term moderate towards the end of the forecast. That's the deal there. We'll come back to that long-range forecast in a second. Just want to give you a reminder. No burning today. We have strong winds out of the north. Dry conditions. Low relative humidity, 68 degrees right now in Mobile, approaching those daytime highs. If you have plans this evening, clear sky, breezy with those cool temperatures. Grab the jackets if you have evening sports practices. If you're going to be taking a look at the Comet as well, grab the jacket. Once again, about 45 minutes after sunset, look in the western sky, just about where the sun set. Look above that. To the right of Venus, just right and above, you will see the comet barely. It is going to be very hard to see with the naked eye. However, if you take a phone photo with the long exposure, you will be able to see it. There you go. Best of luck to you to try to see it. Then we look ahead in our forecast once again, a warming trend over the coming days. Gradual, but it's happening. A nice weekend ahead, but then the temperatures go up after the weekend. So we hit 80 at that point this weekend on Sunday, and then beyond that, here it is, the 10-day outlook here on Fox 10. You can see dry, warmer in the long range, but not many issues. October is typically our driest month. And that is definitely the story here today. And you can see that exactly with no real rain chances in that long range forecast. I'll check for any questions in the Facebook chat. Just let me know. Reach out to us on social media if you have any questions. Also, send us your comet photos. We would love to see them. All you have to do is send them in on the Fox 10 Weather app. A quick download, the App Store, Google Play Store. Leave the app a review as well. I always try to check those every once in a while, see what the feedback is. So thank you so much for joining us. Quick edition of Next Weather. It's October, not a lot's going on. Tropics are generally quiet for the United States at least. We do have a couple disturbances that are out there, but thankfully there are no issues for us at this time. We'll keep you updated on that as always though. I'll leave you with a 10-day outlook. Let me know if you have any questions. For now, we thank you for joining us here on Next Weather.